another episode of Female Gentle Leaders podcast with me, your host, Polly, and today with Abigail Pugh, the visibility goddess and an expert on human design and a projector herself. So I'm glad you're here. Let's talk about all the human design magic. And Abby, what could you tell us more about what you're doing? Because I said, right, something, but what can we imagine? What do you do with your clients? What is your zone of genius?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to share. And Polly, thank you so much for having me on. It's so lovely to be in your energy today. And I do feel that we're very aligned in terms of the way that we look at work, because I don't believe that you need to hustle and work hard to grow a successful business. So that's one of the things that I help my clients with. So I am a human design leadership guide. I work with female founders, CEOs, and their teams, and I help them to align their business strategy to their human design so that they can grow their business with ease and flow. I believe that the world needs more fully expressed, fully visible, empowered, wealthy women. So I'm doing my bit over here to ensure that. But I truly believe that, based on my own experience, really, of when I started my business 7 years ago, the early years of my business, it was very, very difficult for me to create any type of success. I'd come out of corporate. I'd had a very, very successful spell in corporate where I was hustling, I was working hard, I was very, very successful, but it was in detriment to my own health and well-being. And I was completely masking because I was being the leader that they wanted me to be instead of the leader that I actually am. And then when I came out of corporate, I started to build my business in the same way. And I was also investing in incredible guides and teachers, actually, who with the best intentions were also showing me how to build business through initiating, hustling, hard work. And it didn't feel right for me. And I was comparing myself to everyone else that was rocking it, and I just wasn't. And it was only really when I learned about my human design and as a projector, I'm not here to work hard. I'm not here to hustle. I'm not here to initiate. I'm here to be a guide, and I'm here to use my energy wisely and only say yes to the invitations that I'm accepted into, where I'm really seen and appreciated. That's when my world started to change. And that's why when I was like, right, human design, that's it for me. So I work with all human design energies. I have lots of different types of clients, lots of different human design, but me, myself, I'm an emotional 4/6 projector. I'm very, very proud of it. And all of my work is aligned to that.
Yeah, I myself, I just love human design. And for me, it was similar like for you. I only saw building business through hustle. So I burned out, I hustled more. I tried to find a way out. For me, it was energy. And the human design was another piece of the puzzle. And I'm a 3/5 generator, so I'm quite different, right, from
Yes.
you.
Yeah.
But when I found out who I am, what I am in the human design world, everything clicked together. Because sometimes I feel that people are afraid of anything that will tell them what they are, anything that will put them in a box. And sometimes I heard that even about human design. So can you explain us more how not to be afraid of that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've heard that about human design as well. And whenever I'm presented with that, I always joke that I was brought up in a religious cult. And I left that religious cult when I was 16. No one puts me in a box. I was put in the box for the first 16 years of my life. So human design does not put you in a box, but what it does is it suggests strategies for you to follow. And it's a whole experimentation. So I think it's about going out and having fun. Like we go through our lives and we are presented with different theories, different strategies. We work with different guides, different coaches, different mentors. If I look back on this last 7 years of my journey as an entrepreneur, I've invested in so many courses, programs. I've worked privately with incredible coaches and mentors, one-on-one, within group programs. I've joined masterminds, and I still am to this day. I really believe in investing in myself. But what I have to really understand is that someone can teach me a strategy, someone can show me a way to do things. But what I really need to do is take what I need to take from that advice, from that wisdom, because the way that someone has built their business isn't necessarily the way that I want to build my business, or the way that I want to lead, or the way that I want to heal. So what this really comes down to is trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, trusting your inner wisdom, and really using everything else as a beautiful, crazy, happy guide to life. And you can do the same with human design. So I never ever say to anyone, this is the way you need to do things from now on. I'm like, don't believe anything that I say. Like, this is your design. If you play and experiment with these things, just watch and see how things show up differently for you. And if things do show up differently for you, then take that strategy and run with it. And if they don't, then it's fine. Like, it's absolutely fine. You don't have to follow it to a T. But what I love about human design is it teaches us and it shows us and encourages us to drop out of our heads where the monkey brain chatter is, where the fear is, where we are trying to pick at every single piece of information that we have and weigh up the pros and cons and make decisions based on guessing, and really drop into our body and use our body as a decision-making tool. And this is what I love so much about your work, Polly, and all of us that are really taking this slower approach to building business. This is a more like feminine, receiving kind of way, because we're stepping away from the busy. We're stepping away from the busy, and that can be very confronting, because busyness we can be addicted to busyness because it stops us from facing ourselves. But when we actually face ourselves and we step out of that busyness, we can actually start to listen to our body. And our body is highly intuitive, and especially as women, we have this incredible wisdom. If we listen to ourselves, we can use that. So we need to trust ourselves, really. And when we trust ourselves, we'll never be in a box, ever.
Thank you for the explanation. And yes, this is what connects us, right? The trust of our body's wisdom, of our inner wisdom. And I often just say to people, just try it, right? Like you said, you have nothing to lose when you just try to listen to your intuition and see what it brings into your life, into your business. But still, what is it? Can you describe it? Like, why? Because I see the questions, like why or how the body can know what's coming. It's just a question that popped in my mind, and I believe that you might have an answer for that.
I do. Well, human design has an answer, and I'm just channeling the message, right? So human design, or another thing that it teaches us, is our inner authority. And basically what that means is how we use our body to make decisions. And we human design is the science of differentiation. So no one is the same. Everyone is completely different, but there are different inner authorities where we can start to play with it again, play and experiment, and really tune into our bodies to make decisions. So, it might be like a sacral, like yes or no. Some people like really respond to their body, like leaning forward or leaning back, or some kind of like response into your body, maybe like a leap, like in your belly, or a feeling in your heart.
I'm like dancing. Yeah, I'm the sacred. So I'm like dancing, or no way.
So that's really clear to you. Now you can trust yourself. There are some people who have a splenic hit. They can make their decision in the moment, but actually it's a very quiet voice. So they need to get used to or be very aware of that voice. Some people are like their inner authority is completely environmental. So actually what they need to do is they need to go and bounce ideas off people to be able to make decisions, not to be led by those people. Those people don't make a decision, but they can kind of like feel into, oh yeah, that feels really juicy. Oh no, I don't like that. Oh yes, I really love this. The majority of the the majority of the population have got a sacral, because the majority of the population are sacral beings like yourself, generators, manifesting generators. Me personally, I have an emotional response. So I'm an emotional being. I have an emotional roller coaster that goes up and down, and it's really important for me not to make decisions when I'm at the very top of the roller coaster or the bottom of the roller coaster. So actually when I'm feeling very little nervousness, so sometimes I can get really excited about things and carried away and say yes, and then I regret it a few days later, right? So this has really served me well, because it means that I am only saying yes to as a projector, the invitations that come in for me. So the way that I make a decision is I am invited into things, and then I wait until there's very little nervousness in my body. And then I can really feel into it and go, okay, does this person really appreciate me? Does this person really see me? And if I feel that, then I can then step into it. It's just little nuances and it takes some time, but it's really so good. And it saved me from saying yes to so many things that really I'm glad that I didn't say yes to.
Yes, these authorities, for me, it was, as I said, right, it was a confirmation of, yes, what I'm feeling is true and I can trust it. Because I feel we feel all the feelings, we even hear the little voices, but we are afraid to act on them, to take them as an authority and not just about some voice that is in my head and I should ignore it, right? So what else comes to my mind when I about human design and when I see you is how we co-create with other types. And we have in our surroundings, I bet, different types, maybe even reflectors. They are just 1%, right? So I have a client that she's a reflector too. I have projectors, manigen, manifestors, generate, like everybody. And when I know what their human design is, I often understand more about them and can support them more. So this is what I love. But even if we don't know, right, we see the differences. And yeah, that's for me magic. So when you see a combination, right, so projector, generator, or manifesting or manifester and us around it, how can we understand the differences? What are the major differences?
Yeah, I think for someone like yourself who, you're very connected to your intuition, to your body, you've done a lot of work, you're very open and conscious. I think what human design does very often is it validates, like you said, what we already know about ourselves, but what an empowering validation. And then you can kind of sense into, oh, this person's like this person's like that. And again, knowing about their human design, it just validates really what you feel, that inner intuition about them. And as you know, business is all about relationships. It's about building relationships with your clients, with your co-creators, with your collaborators, with your communities. And human design really helps you to be able to build these incredible relationships. The human design types, and there are 5 human design types, are all designed to work together. It's like we all have a place in this world, and that is defined by our human design type. which is obviously the generators, manifesting generators, the projectors, the manifestors, and the beautiful reflectors. And how amazing that you've got a reflector for your client, because they are truly the unicorns and only 1% of the population. But oh my goodness, how just amazing they are. When you dig deeper into your human design, there are other layers, there are deeper layers. You know, there's the incarnation cross that shows you what your broader purpose is. There's your profile, which really shows you like the role that you have to kind of play in that purpose. It's really, really interesting. But if we look at the 5, like at the top level for strategy, for the 5 different human design types, if you can imagine, Polly, that you had a team of people, for example, that are working for you. I know you have a team of people that are working for you, and you are going to launch a project. Okay, what you do is you look at the strengths of the different human design types and their energies, and then you align the roles and the tasks to that. So I always talk about if you were in a project. If I was like launching a project, I would put the manifestor would be the one that would get the ball rolling. So the manifestor is the only human design type to initiate. So the manifestor initiates, gets the ball rolling. The generators and the manifesting generators can then respond to the manifestor because that is their strategy, and then they project manage it. And the reason why they project manage it is that they've got this incredible sacral energy. If used wisely and doing work that lights them up, if the project is lighting them up, that's very important. They will be able to run with this project. The manifesting generators will be able to course correct and manage different projects. The generator will be there with their beautiful, like magnetic aura, bringing people in, sharing the project with others, lighting them up, getting other people involved and excited about it. The projector will be there in the projector's guiding role, acting as the guide, coming in and giving feedback in terms of the process. I see a blind spot here. Maybe we could do it this way. And then the beautiful reflector will be coming in and just reflecting back on how it's going. Bringing all of these energies together, what an amazing project this is. And, you know, I was in corporate for over 20 years. I was high level leadership in corporate. I managed multiple projects, multiple teams. If I'd have known about human design, I'd have brought it in, because I would have been able to manage my leaders more effectively within that corporate environment. And this doesn't just go for people within your team. This is your clients. These are your, you know, as I said before, your business partners, your collaborators, your investors, your community, your children, your family, your friends, your lovers. Human design really gives you access. It's such a, it really is the blueprint for life.
And I love it. If any who is listening, for me, it was amazing to do a human design chart for my entire family. For me, my husband, and our children. And we talked about it with Abby in Valencia, because it's amazing to see what our children are and how we can support them already now when they are little, to really living in their authority and believing in themselves. So this is, for me, it was amazing. And Abby, you as a projector,
yeah,
I always see some projectors really grumpy, I would say, about, I'm waiting for the response. And I always tell them, it's not like that, right? Just shine, share your love, share your expertise, and then enjoy the invitations. But still, a projector's business, it will be completely different as my generators want. So could you let us look at your business? Could you share something?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest breakthrough, from one of the biggest breakthroughs actually for me, building my business and really understanding about my human design projectorness, is the inner work. It's the inner work, because you're saying like there's all these grumpy, you meet these grumpy projectors, and I'm running a 5-day event actually at the moment, a free 5-day event that I know that we're going to talk about and share for projectors. And we had our first event yesterday. We're going live 1 hour every day. And I said in the chat, right, okay, what do you resonate with most? Bitterness or success? Bitterness is like when we are not aligned to our human design, when we're not being seen, when we feel second best. As projectors, we feel really bitter when we're not being invited into things. And when we are being invited into things, we feel very successful. And all of the majority of the people in the comments were saying, I feel bitter. I really resonate with that word. I feel bitter. So yes, there can be a lot of bitterness within projectors, always not like there is this real desire and need actually to be seen. I need to be seen in order to be validated, in order to feel good about myself. But what you're doing then is you are getting your validation from someone else instead of yourself. So in order to be seen, we first need to see ourselves. We need to see ourselves. We need to appreciate ourselves. When I see a highly successful projector, it is a projector who is absolutely 100% in love with themselves. They feel seen, they feel validated, they're not attached to the opinions of others. They recognize that not everyone will see them, and that is absolutely fine. They're not afraid of going and putting themselves out there and being visible, because it's really important for projectors to be visible, because they're worried about being rejected or not seen. It's fine because they see themselves, so who cares? It's like if you see yourself, others will see you. So for me, it's the inner work, it's the transformation. It's taken a long, long time, and I am still on that road. I am still on that road. But every day I work at it, and every day I see an uplift within my business. I always say new level, new devil. So every time I get to that new level within my business, it gets bigger. I put my prices up, I host a new event, whatever that might be. Of course, it comes up, but now I have the tools to be able to really help with that. And when you're vibrating at the frequency of success, other things will come in to your life that are also vibrating at that high frequency. So really like you're not waiting, it's not a passive, and it's not like you're waiting, you're still doing stuff. But what you're doing is you're waiting for those really juicy invitations that you can say yes or no to, because you can take your pick.
And exactly, because when you are happy with yourself and happy with what you do, you don't need to take everything, and you don't need to like grab everything, right? It feels different. It feels like, okay, I'm the queen, I'm choosing the invitations I will accept. Thank you so much.
It's like when you're really wanting, like desperate to be seen, it's really needy energy. It's very needy. So actually stepping away from that, like you say, helps you to really step into that sovereignty and queendom, and just be like, okay, invite me in, but I'm very expensive, right?
And when we were together in Valencia, we were together for a week, and I saw, because for you projectors, I always hear and read that you need time alone, time for yourself, exactly as you said, to do the inner work. And it was so lovely to see that just one day, right, you went off to have a dinner on your own without us, and some other times you just needed to go for a walk or anything like that. And I feel that sometimes when we are together in a group somewhere, online group, offline group, we tend to be afraid to step away. Like, if I'm not there, I will miss something. But for you projectors, it's so important. And even for me as a generator, I'm an introvert, right? So I did similar things like you. I just needed it less. So I just went by the pool and read for a bit or something like that. So I just wanted to talk about this, because for us it sometimes means get off of social media, right, for a while, and not being afraid like everybody will forget about me. I think.
Yeah, I think when you are confident in yourself and you really understand yourself and you understand the reasons for wanting to take some time out. So, you know, if you use both you and I as an example on that particular retreat, it wasn't like we were just like taking ourselves away because we were fed up with everyone or like, oh, I can't be bothered. There was a reason for it. It was a strategy, because you and I both know that when we take some time away from the group, we can recharge our batteries, we can be more energized, we can feed ourselves, and therefore when we come back into the group, we will be more valuable. And we want to be valuable to people, right? We want people to feel uplifted and inspired and motivated when they're around us. So that there is a real strategy to this, and particularly for projectors. Yes, we're not designed to work hard. We're not designed to hustle. And it's really important for us to take periods of rest. There are different types of projectors as well. So I actually take some of my energy, like some of my motors, like my the motors within my body. Some of our centers within our bodies are motor centers, and I actually have 2 motor centers that are defined, which means that I can actually get some energy. It's not like a sacral energy, but I can get some energy from those motors. So actually, I don't need too much rest. Sometimes I might have to go for a little nap for 10 minutes, or I just need to take myself off and read a book, and then I'm good to go. Some projectors that I work with have no sacral motors, and they are classic projectors, and they get very burnt out very easily. So again, I think it's really understanding your type, how you are designed to rest, and then use that. Like, one of the things that I always say to my projector clients is to go to bed early. Go to bed before you're tired. Go to bed before you're tired, read a book, and then you can fall to sleep naturally. I live with a generator, and I can be very easily persuaded by his generator motor, right? His sacral motor. I can be like, FOMO, I need to stay up. And then I feel ill because I'm so tired. So I've learned from that. And I've learned to really, honor myself and love myself in that way. And whenever I run a retreat, obviously, I have different human design types there. I understand about their different energies, and I will actually have conversations with projectors, reflectors, and manifestors that do not have sacral energy. You need to go and rest, take yourself away. Line 2 human design hermits who really need that time away from the group to be able to recharge their energy, just to give them permission to do that. But actually, once you really understand it, you give yourself permission.
And I love that even if you're talking about projectors, I feel it covers all of us, about the visibility, about taking some time of recharge. It's not about only projectors, right? I need to recharge too. I need to be visible from my inner love to my work too, and manifestors too, and reflectors, I bet too. So this is something that I wanted just to highlight, that even if we're talking about one type or profile, in some way, the human design just teaches us to listen to ourselves, respect ourselves, and communicate it outside and respect each other. And this is something that is just amazing. And I'm so happy that you mentioned your 5-day event, because it's only for projectors. Like, okay, FOMO, big FOMO from a generator. I hope there will be something for us too soon. What is there? What are you planning with projectors?
I am going to do another one for all human design types, and I normally do, to be honest with you. But for a long time, I've wanted to do an event specifically for projectors, and I'm so excited that I'm able to do that this week. So it's a 5-day event. We started yesterday. There's still time to jump in. We go live for an hour every day, and every day we're going to be looking at a different area of being a projector. So today we're looking at success and bitterness, which are the two polarities. Tomorrow we're going to be looking at managing energy. On Thursday we're going to be looking at actually the invitation, the sacred invitation, and how we can attract it and manifest it. And there's not just one type of invitation, there's different types of invitation. So yeah, I'm really excited about this event. I think you have a link for it, so I'll let you share the link for it, but please come and join us. And also, you know what, if you have someone that's very important to you in your life, like a projector, like I have some women actually that are on this, and this is open to men and women, by the way, but I have some women on there whose children are projectors, and they're jumping on because they just want to understand a little bit more about their children. This is an event for projectors in business, CEOs, founders, entrepreneurs, women in leadership roles. So we're specifically talking about business and about leadership, but actually it's available to anyone that just wants to learn a little bit more about being a projector.
Thank you for that. And it's amazing that you're doing it. And yes, a bit of FOMO from a little generator here, but I know that you will be doing something more. So it's always best to just be connected with you. And I already shared all your links, and I will just add the link to the event. And yeah, I can't wait for all the projectors to take away from your experience, from your lived experience, because that's just the best, and from all that you know. And yeah, and shine your projector light. Thank you, Abby.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on today.
Yeah, I'm so glad we could talk really deep about human design, because it's something that can really support all of us. So thank you for that. And ladies and gentlemen, see you soon on another interview or my little shortcast. No, it's not little, just a shortcast. And yes, let's build our businesses from our inner guidance with the help of human design, and let's change our world. Have an amazing day.